Hello, and welcome to The Sand Hurts My Feelings, a Star Wars podcast from a Swiftie point of view. I am your host, Alex, and I wanted to wish you a very happy Orthodox Life Day. As a special treat, here is our panel that we did about Padme and Taylor Swift that we did at the Twin Cities Con back in November. Please enjoy this wonderful panel. Understand that it is a panel and not a properly edited episode, so you may not hear full questions and answers, and I apologize for that. But this is kind of just a fun little anecdote to keep you sated until we see you again in the new year. Happy New Year and happy Orthodox Life Day.
I wish that I could just wish away my feelings, but I can't.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
Hurts my feelings.
Haunted by thick sand in my very soul. Sand. Are you suffering as much as I am?
Sand hurts my feelings.
Tormenting me. I'm in agony.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
During the Ahmed Best panel, I actually asked him a question for this podcast. Yeah, we did. Yeah. I asked him, did he like Taylor Swift? He said that he is not super familiar with her work. He's like, she's a great.
Yeah, he said that she was a great songwriter.
Great songwriter, love that, but like he's not as he's not like he's Swiftie adjacent is what he was saying. He made the joke of like, is it Swiftie or Swiffer? And we're like, it's Swiftie. But
that was a hot joke.
It was very good.
I think we're at time.
Yeah, we can get started.
Welcome to our panel, Queens of Sandcastles He Destroys, Padme Amidala from a Swiftie point of view. We are podcast hosts. My name is Sarah.
My name is Alex.
And we host the Sand Hurts My Feelings podcast, which is a Star Wars podcast from a Swiftie point of view. Because we've seen all of the Instagram reels and threads and YouTube mashups. People put the two fandoms together. We love them all. So we're like, why not talk about it? Because we're having these conversations on our own. We're a real life married couple. We have these conversations on our own all the time. So we're like, why not record it and see if anyone else wants to listen to it? And others do. So that's a lot of fun. And we love talking about it. We love talking about Star Wars. We love talking about Taylor. And so we put them together.
They match up really well too. Like that's the thing of like we were just like, this will be fun, and then they match up really well.
Yeah. So we are currently in our third season. We've done 2 seasons so far. Our first season, we talked about the first female of Star Wars, Princess Leia Organa, or General Leia, if you will. So you can go back and take a listen to that. Today here, we're going to be talking about all of the picks that we did from Taylor Swift's discography for Padme, and we're currently in our season on Rey. I should take a step back and we talk about our format a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, we jumped in a little bit, but how it works is we pick a main character or a character that we want to talk about, and then we go through chronologically through each of Taylor Swift albums, and so then we pick a song from that album for the character. So with Leia, we started off with Debut, and we worked our way through, and so we pick a song that we think works the best for that character, whether it is in movies, whether it is in books, comics, any Star Wars canon, we put in. Sarah has destroyed some of Taylor's greatest songs for me because of how, she ruined Breathe for me. That one, woof.
Yeah, Breathe off of Fearless.
You ruined that one, but I've ruined some for her, so that's good. Would've, could've, should've. I got her with that one. Yep. So.
Really, in like the best way.
In the best way possible, because like you listen to it and you're just like,
I can't.
Oh, this is even more depressing. Like it's already a depressing song, and then I'm like, now I think about Star Wars with it, and it's even more depressing.
Yeah.
Because what is Star Wars? Tragedy. What is Taylor Swift? Most of the time, tragedy.
Yeah, she's very good at writing a sad song, but as we've seen off her most recent album, she's also great at writing a happy love song.
Yeah. So we will be asking for opinions because we have our first 3 seasons. We have a bunch of other characters we want to do, but we don't know who to do next. So you all get to be our first guinea pigs, and we will ask you, who do you think we should do next?
For season 4.
For season 4. We'll have a list of pictures, and we'll ask you. We'll take a poll of the audience. What do you think?
Yeah. So we're going to go through. At the time that we did Padme, Life of a Showgirl had not dropped, so we do not have our picks for Life of a Showgirl for Padme, but we're going to go through the other 11 Taylor Swift albums and share our picks that we had for Padme off of each of those. So we'll go on through. So we'll also do a little plug here that Alex did all of the album artwork, and most of them are available for sale on our TeePublic.
Yeah, TeePublic, they're pretty much up there. Some of them are better than others. I fully acknowledge that. Like, you can obviously see the line in the picture on that one, but there's other ones that I'm like, I'm really proud of this one. You should go buy this sticker, all that kind of stuff. Like, I will shout it out. Like, the one we have T-shirts. I'm wearing a T-shirt of the 1989. You'll see it up here, and I think that one. Or no, this is layout. So I'll actually stand up and show you this one. This one's I'm really proud of this one. Woo! Yeah. Woo!
So yeah, a little
anyway,
plug there.
but
We'll
yeah,
have
little
the
plug there,
information
but.
again. So Alex, kick us off with your pick from for Padme for the debut album.
So the debut album, very country, but easily my pick, and unfortunately most of my picks revolve around Anakin and Padme. So my pick is Should Have Said No. Yep. So Padme, this is basically Padme at Mustafar saying, like, she can't believe that he turned to the dark side and didn't think of her. We talked about this in our earlier panel. We had a panel earlier today about, like, how Anakin doesn't really love Padme, in our opinions, of like, he has a possessive love. And so, like, this is where she's like, you should have said no. Like, you should have said no to the dark side. And so, like, she tries to bring up earlier pieces of, like, hey, maybe we're on the wrong side here. Maybe things are different. And his immediate response is like, you're a separatist. You're evil. Like that, like, what are you talking about? And she's like, how could you have not known me and how I would be against this? So, and then my quote, as we go through the lines, we usually talk about the whole song, but a specific point in the song I think is really important is, you should have known that word about what you did with her would get back to me, and I should have been there in the back of your mind. And so it's that kind of thing where he kind of thought he was going to get away with it. Like, he's like, oh, I'll be this Sith Lord, and Padme will just sit at home and not do anything and not worry about it. And then she finds out, and it's immediately like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You turned her against me. And it's like, no, you just didn't know your wife. So, yeah. And so, like, the should have said no to her is the dark side, because the dark side is a seductive mistress.
Well, Palpatine is also a seductive mistress.
True.
Palpatine
is also a seductive mistress. He very much is.
Yes. So my pick off the debut album also comes from the confrontation on Mustafar, but from a different side. It's Perfectly Good Heart. Anakin breaks Padme apart, but you should have seen it coming throughout the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. And Padme literally dies of a broken heart. So just take one of Taylor's lines from the chorus here. Why would you want to break a perfectly good heart? Why would you want to take our love and tear it all apart? And that's what Anakin does on Mustafar.
It is what he does.
Yeah.
But he's done it before, because if you've all seen Clone Wars, who here hasn't? Everyone see here Clone Wars? No? Okay.
So some yes,
some yes, some no.
Okay.
There is literally a domestic abuse arc in there. Yeah, that O-face, because people think that that's just okay. And they're like, oh yeah. And the end of that arc, she apologizes to him. Yep, that happened. Yeah, I see that incredulous face. Like, yep.
Season 5 of the Clone Wars.
Yes. In a kid's show. That's also the thing. Like, they're like, it ain't in a kid's show. Domestic abuse is in this arc. And you're like, okay, maybe Padme can stand up and be strong for herself. No, Anakin gets proved right. Because it's like, oh, she's going after this guy, and I don't trust you with this guy. And then the guy turns out to be evil, but Padme trusted him. And so then she's like, I'm sorry, Anakin. You were right. He was evil. It's like, no.
All right. Yep, that was our PSA.
There are a lot of PSAs, and also soapboxes. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I get on soapboxes.
All right, but how about you tell us about your pick from Fearless for Padme?
So, yes, for Fearless for Padme, mine is Forever and Always. And I think this is actually kind of a double great pick for me, because when everyone I talk to hears Forever and Always, like the title, they're like, oh, that's a romantic song. It's not. It is of like, you said forever and always, and we are breaking up. And like, that's basically what, and like, that's to me what Anakin and Padme are, of like, they're, Star Wars really wants you to believe that they're like this big tragic love story and stuff like that. And I'm just like, Anakin is not healthy. None of this is healthy for him. So, or for Padme to be involved, but of like, his love is not healthy. So my big thing is that she gets brutally honest with Anakin on Mustafar, and he has become the scared little boy, because in the song she talks about, you're just a scared little boy, and so he has become a scared little boy from Tatooine that is afraid of losing his mother, and so instead now he's afraid of losing Padme. She thought he was stronger and braver, but it turns out he was not. And then, unfortunately, Padme gives up on life because she has lost the will to live. She has finally learned that she can't be with him anymore, because when she knows all the things he has done, and she can't be without him because of her love for him. So she is heartbroken, and she can't go on without Anakin, which I think is dumb. And I bring that up later. Don't worry.
Yeah, this isn't the last time you've heard about that. So my pick from Fearless is, again, referencing the scene on Mustafar. It's a very impactful scene, and Taylor writes impactful music, so it makes sense we're going to talk about this more than once. But my pick is Bye Bye Baby, which is a vault track, if you are not as familiar with the discography. So when Taylor did her re-records, she picked up some of the songs that didn't make it onto the original album, and this is one of them. So the moment I'm referencing is as they're flying away on Mustafar, or from Mustafar, Padme feels Anakin slipping away from her and going down a path she can't follow. And so she has to leave him behind, even though she desperately loves him and doesn't want to. And that's what kills her in the end. So to take a sound clip from the song, "You're all I want, but it's not enough this time. And all the pages are just slipping through my hands, and I'm so scared of how this ends. Bye-bye to everything I thought was on my side." Because she thought Anakin was her one constant throughout the whole Clone Wars and the chaos in the Republic. And she learned now in Mustafar that he's not. She doesn't know who he is anymore, and it breaks her heart.
But there's still good in him.
I know, there's still good in it.
Agreed. I agree with that barf sound that came from the audience.
All right, so what about your pick from Speak Now?
So this is where I get, I think, pretty good. So mine is Better Than Revenge. And what you might be thinking is like, how is this better than, like, this is Padme singing to the Trade Federation in The Phantom Menace, because she is the queen of Sandcastles that he destroys, but also she is the queen of Naboo, and that's how we are introduced to her. But she wanted to enact change on Naboo. If you guys anybody of you have read or are interested in Padme, there are E.K. Johnston books, a trilogy that is fantastic and highly recommend, that goes into like her background and what her desires were before the Trade Federation came. But then when the Trade Federation came, she feels that they sabotaged her reign and began the destruction of her beloved planet. But with that, she then like, you underestimated me. Like, there's nothing I do better than revenge. And she comes back for revenge and like arrests them, basically. So she is hurt that her planet is being occupied. The Trade Federation knew this and tried to use it against her to sign the treaty, but they underestimated her. She escaped, pleaded with the Senate, and eventually returned to liberate her planet. And then to go on to continue with our lyric pulls. So in that song, it says, "She had to know the pain was beating on me like a drum. She underestimated just who she was stealing from." And the she being the Trade Federation, and that they stole Naboo, but you can't steal from Padme. She'll take it back.
Mm-hmm. Our strong, powerful woman.
In that movie.
So my pick from Speak Now is Superman. So when I thought of this song, I instantly thought of Padme in the Clone Wars animated series. Throughout that whole series, she can't show her true feelings to Anakin because there's others present when she's interacting with them. But most of the time, she's Anakin's biggest supporter in that whole series, and he can do no wrong most of the time. And there's several arcs where Padme gets put in danger and Anakin comes in to save her, like Superman. So one line in particular from Taylor's song that I think highlights this is, tall, dark, and beautiful. He's complicated. He's so irrational. But I hope someday you'll take me away and save the day.
So then this is one that I'm really proud of with the red
the
and
photoshopping,
the
yeah.
photoshopping and all that kind of stuff. The way I was able to smoothly kind of ish put her in there. I know I'm not still fantastic, but I'm proud of it. My song is Everything Has Changed, and so everybody thinks like, oh, Alex hates everything, but he doesn't. And so while the Clone War or Attack of the Clones is absolutely not my favorite Star Wars movie, I can pull from there. So to me, this Everything Has Changed is when Padme and Anakin meet again for the second time of like when they've spent the 10 years apart, and now it is Everything Has Changed.
Yeah, so they're meeting in Attack of the Clones.
At the beginning of the Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And so the line that seals it all together is, and the whole song works, but because all I know is we said hello, and your eyes look like coming home. All I know is a simple name, and everything has changed. And so this is Padme realizing everything between her and Anakin has changed after their first meeting in Attack of the Clones. And she hides it well, so that's where it's like this is kind of a retroactive going back to, because you don't know that when we first see them, but then she talks later of like, I've been dying a little each day since you walked back into my life and stuff like that, so it's that kind of, she's not been able to stop thinking about him and will finally admit to loving him when she thinks she's about to die.
So my pick off of Red, I think, is the 3 words that can completely encapsulate Anakin and Padme's relationship. The song's sad, beautiful, tragic. I don't know, the one of the main lines in the chorus, Taylor repeats it quite a few times, is, we had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. And I think that just kind of sums up their entire relationship. It was beautiful, but short and ended in tragedy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, not sure how to respond to that one,
Yep.
so yep. Another one I'm pretty proud of, picture, but I'm trying to be better at self-promoting,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Right, good for you.
So this is, 1989, I'll go first. So my pick was Wonderland. And so to me, this is Anakin and Padme's journey through their relationship from when they are on Naboo in Attack of the Clones to where Anakin leaves for Mustafar. He has slowly been moving away from her as he turns further towards the dark side. Padme gets lost in the wonderland of their relationship, even though she knows it's doomed. And as she says in the fireside room on Naboo, she says, like, this cannot go anywhere. Like, we will both die, or like we both can't live this way in this kind of stuff. So that is my Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I have a quote from it. My bad. Yes. So it's all fun and games till somebody loses their mind. Anakin loses his mind with the dark side. Oh, darling, we found Wonderland. You and I got lost in it. We pretended it could last forever. So like she knows that it can't last forever. They both have like, we could never live like that. And then they try and it fails.
Right. So kind of along those lines, my pick from 1989 is Wildest Dream. So I pulled in for inspiration from Attack of the Clones mainly in this pick. But Padme knows an affair between her and Anakin is not going to go well, and it's a bad idea that could be both of their downfalls. They'd be living a lie because their relationship has to be so secret because of their position. And this song also kind of foreshadows how Padme's memory is going to haunt Anakin and fuel his anger. So the line, I think the chorus here says, kind of my thesis statement, if you will, for the song is, say you'll remember me, standing in a night's dress, staring at the sunset, babe, red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just in your wildest dreams. So it's wanting to remember this love in their relationship fondly, even though like it's doomed from the start.
Yep. Then we have Reputation, which our friend in the front hasn't heard, which is fine. But so my pick is Gorgeous, and this shows you the growth of my wonderful wife has on me, because I hated Attack of the Clones. Still not a fan of it, but like I can reference it and I can. This is the second Attack of the Clones reference in this season. So I'm very proud of myself. But this is Anakin and Padme with Anakin in the beginning of Attack of the Clones and the middle when she sees him and sees that everything has changed but can't say anything to him. So the soundbite would be, so you're so gorgeous, I can't say anything to your face because look at your face, it's gorgeous, and I'm so furious at you for making me feel this way, but what can I say? You're gorgeous. And like that, if that doesn't paint the picture of Padme's feelings towards Anakin, because like in the fireside room, she's just like, I hate you. Why are you making me love you? And then but that it's again that she's taken aback at how beautiful and how much he's grown. And even in the movie, she is shown as outwardly angry at him often in the beginning, and that she doesn't want him to look at her a certain way because of how she feels, and she only tells him that she actually loves him when she thinks she's going to die.
So, plugging for our actual episode of the podcast, Alex and I have a really, really good conversation about the song that I'm going to bring up. And in the essence of time, we're not going to dive back into that whole conversation. But my pick from Reputation is Dress. And when I was listening to Reputation and thinking, okay, which song am I going to pick for Padme? Which do I think best fits her? I instantly thought of the black dress that we have in the fireside room scene on Naboo with this song. I mean, Padme also has a really beautiful collection of all sorts of dresses, but the seductiveness of the song Dress made me think of this very intimate moment that Padme and Anakin have. So the sound clip that I have is our secret moments in a crowded room. They've got no idea about me and you. So no one knows about them in the fireside room scene on Naboo and Attack of the Clones, but then that also kind of sets off their whole relationship as no one knows about them. And Padme only bought the dress so Anakin could take it off.
But that's not true because she doesn't want him in that scene.
Right. And so that's what we
that was our conversation. But
yeah. Oh, Showgirl.
That's true. Yeah. That one. Yeah, we're still putting our picks on those because we don't know where we're going to land with those.
We are going to release an episode on Padme and the Life of a Showgirl, but since that album is a month old, we haven't had a chance to put our thoughts together.
I have not been able to put it down, yet. But we gotta
we've been listening to it nonstop.
Listen to it nonstop, but I cannot. We gotta think about where to put the songs.
Yes, great question. Lover.
All right, this is where Alex gets on his soapbox. So again, but if you came to our panel earlier, you know my feelings towards George Lucas. So this is actually a meta song. So I chose for Padme the Man, because this song is basically singing of like, I don't need it. I'm good.
Okay, I just didn't want to tell you.
I appreciate it. But like, I've got enough soapbox standing for myself. She, like, the song itself is about how like the patriarchy and stuff has affected Taylor, and how like if she was a man, she'd be a lot more successful or a lot less criticized. And I have this as Padme is singing this to George for Revenge of the Sith, because George fridges her. And I don't know if anybody, like, if you don't know what the term fridge means, it means a female or I guess a character, but it tends to be a female character is either killed or sidelined for the sole purpose of the male character's term. The reason it's called fridge is pretty gruesome. A female in the Green Arrow comic books, his girlfriend is literally killed by his nemesis and then like put in the fridge just to move him along. And so like that's where the term comes from, of like, and it's like that because she didn't matter to the story, and so it's like we got to make him feel sad and move that forward. And so I have quotes deliberately from George Lucas about this, and in the making of The Revenge of the Sith on the 2005 DVD release, he states that he liked the story about Padme being part of the rebellion, standing up against people, but like he said in there, it needed to be tighter, and he wanted to focus more on Anakin. And so this is also soapbox moments of like, I get really frustrated with fans who are like, well, Padme is the founder of the rebellion. And I'm like, she's not. Like, I wish she was. If she was in this in these deleted scenes. Like if they were in the movie, she absolutely would be, and I'm furious that didn't happen. But there are so many people out there that are like, she's the founder of the rebellion. And I'm like, no, she's not. George deliberately removed that. That didn't happen. So like that's where I get super frustrated and angry, and like that's why I'm like, this is the man of like, she could have been such a cool character. I also not going to go into here but like in this podcast, I actually talk about like she shouldn't have died at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like I think there are ways you could have kept her alive and done different things of like just explain it later of like she died in a rebel, like have her actually found the rebellion and then have her die in like she died sometime between, there's such a big difference in time. She died in 19 years. Like that makes sense. And it also angers me that of like, oh, she lost her man, so that she's lost the will to live, but she literally just gave birth to 2 children and they're not worth it. Like that, and I'm just like, what are we doing here, George? So
Not great.
yes, not great. I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I'm like, 'cause I could talk about this forever because it's one of those things that really infuriates me because it's just like there was such potential for her and such amazing ability, and then she just gets to sit in her apartment and be barefoot and pregnant. And I'm just like, that's dumb.
Thank you for your soapbox. My pick from Lover is Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. So this pick for me is all about Padme's political career, which I find kind of funny. On an album, Lover, I pick something that's not connected to Anakin, but it works. So Padme becomes distrusting of the Senate when she is the Queen of Naboo and throughout the events of the Phantom Menace, but her faith in democracy was stronger when she became a senator. She doesn't want to fight in a war, and she thinks that the fighting can be carried out diplomatically rather than through the war. And even with the death threats, her life, and the toxicity in the Senate, she still believes that democracy and justice can win and the Republic can be saved. So I have a quote here, or a song lyric from the chorus. The whole school is rolling fake dice. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So this kind of speaks to the politics and the whole game. And we know it's a fake game because Palpatine is orchestrating the whole thing. Padme and the Senate don't do that. And then it's you and me. There's nothing like this. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. So she wants to save the democracy as Miss Americana.
So for folklore, my pick is Hoax, because to me that is Anakin's love for Padme, which was never really love. And so she believed in him when it wasn't really there. So to lean in on that song, the soundbite I have is my best laid plan, your sleight of hand, my barren land, I'm ash from your fire. So he burned her world down basically because he brought down the Republic. That was her world, and also works well with like them finally breaking up on Mustafar as well, of like the fire and his rage and all that, and him actually burning. But it continues with that Anakin never loved Padme. That is my thesis. He loved the idea or the possession of her. So if he truly loved her, he would never have fallen to the dark side, or at least he would have turned back at Mustafar. Because that's also the thing of like, if he had fallen, like if that, I don't doubt that he could have absolutely fallen, but like she literally tells him like, come away with me. Like, I love you. Let's just go. Let's leave everything behind. It's just you and me, and we will go do this. And he can't let go of the possession, the power that he's craving. So again, it's not that he truly loved her. He loved possessions. And so he's like, now I have power. Now I have you. Now I have everything I want, and we will be perfect. And then it turns out to not be what. And so instead he hurts her and claims she has been turned against him when it was he that never really was on her side. His love has been a hoax the whole time that Padme fell for, and in the song says, your faithless love is the biggest hoax I believe in.
So my pick for folklore, there is a YouTube video compilation out there that I think sums it up perfectly. We've posted it on our social media pages before. Please go look it up on YouTube afterwards. Like, it is the reason I picked this song, but it's My Tears Ricochet. So to me, this is again, kind of a reference to the Mustafar moment. Padme chases after Anakin and begs him to love her, to run away with her, to raise their children together, which is not going with grace. That's one of the lines Taylor sings. I didn't have it in myself to go with grace. So Padme is literally begging Anakin, don't do this. You're a good person. Don't do this. Padme fought for every last breath as she lay dying, and Anakin is haunted by Padme's memory after she dies. So I'm giving myself goosebumps. Like just this song for Padme is so powerful for me, and I'm thinking of that YouTube video.
We'll pull it up at the end if we have time.
Yes, if you want to hang around, we'll pull it up. But the sound clip I have, or the lyrics I have, is cursing my name, wishing I'd stayed. You turned into your worst fears, talking to Anakin. You're tossing out blame, drunk on this pain, crossing out the good years, and you're cursing my name.